shortcuts to all of this stuff, okay?
An answer. To insert the symbol for a comma, press Control, comma.
You see what it did right there? So now when you want to do it, now it's just Control. So you want to shortcut that way of doing it without having to put the brackets in. It's automatically going to put it in if you do it with Control. Okay? But you have to be in this. It's not when you're down here. Got it? It's not when you're in the text. It's when you're defining it. When you're going to define it, you do the Control,
Right.
and it's going to automatically set it up the correct way. Does that make sense? Yeah?
Likewise, Control, period. For a quick question mark, press Control / There's also Control /
And Control / is the question mark, okay? That's the only reason he said Control /, okay? So if you look down at your question mark, there's a little slash right there.
Got it.
That's why he said Control /.
semicolon and Control : which would involve the Shift key. Control tilde inserts the symbol for a lock space. However, if you have an entire phrase whose words you want to keep together, you can use the lock button.
Guys, pay attention to this real quick. This is pretty cool stuff, okay? Say you have something and they talked about the name of the store is called At the Door Store, okay? All right?
Okay.
When it's talking about a specific store, you don't want it to be at the door store. It always needs to be on the same line. So when you're talking about Mr. Krzyzewski, you don't want Mr. Krzyzewski. You always want it together, okay? This thing is going to, look at what it does on the lock.
However, if you have an entire phrase whose words you want to keep together, you can use the lock button. Press the lock button again, and you'll get hyphen.
So see how hyphens is going to hyphenate it, but those little squiggly lines means to keep it together on the same line. Got it?
Uh-huh.
And I think you can do it because I think we've done it before. Go into your lines right there.
It did it for me. I hit lock.
Okay. And you can do it again, push lock again. See how it takes it back? So you do lock, what's it, lock, and then lock.
Are those the brackets or are those the
No.
curvy brackets?
What's that?
I can't tell. The brackets that they put the,
Punctuation?
yeah, or those
Yeah,
the
it's a
curvy
bracket.
brackets or those the straight brackets? I can't see it from here.
No, that's the bracket.
So just the square bracket.
No, no, no,
Curvy.
the,
Okay.
with the little, and that's the one that you need for your dictionary, okay? So did you do it already?
No.
On the, let's put it right here. And do Control G.
Do I need to open a new page or something to get the globe? Because my global box isn't coming up.
Go on. Okay. I see.
Hey, there it is.
And we're doing it this way just because you don't really have it in there. But just in that fair lock. That's a lot. So now it's going to keep it together on one line. Or you do it one more time and now it adds the matches. So it's at the door store. What they say at the door store. Or you push lock one more time and it takes it back. Just do Control G. Did you get it?
Mhm.
Did you do it again? The lock again?
Lock again.
Yeah. And see how it puts the dashes? And then lock one more time and then take it off. So whatever you needed out of those three, you can. Okay?
I would just do it like that.
Or you can just do lock.
The tilde is to.
Keep it together, right? So it's gonna keep it on one
And then
line.
this is like it's out of control.
You
If I had
need
it
to
in,
hyphenate.
yeah,
Yeah.
all done.
Or pull it out,
That's what I did.
and it'll take it off.
Mhm.
So it keeps it off, puts it on, puts it on, takes it off. So the more times you keep doing it, it'll just keep doing it, okay? Did you get it?
Mm-hmm. So like for this,
Yeah. Or one more time.
here it goes. And then when I hit, my Z is not working for some reason.
Your what?
The Z, the oops key.
Well, stuff like that, it may not, because you're doing it inside of that. Do the I,
Okay.
do the whole thing. You're just doing the M. Oh, it did do it. So you
There.
do, see? And if you keep doing it, it'll add the little tilde things.
Mm-hmm.
All that means is it needs to be on the same line. Can you keep it on the same line? The hyphens, put it as a hyphenated word, and then if you hit it again, it just takes it off. Okay? Got it?
Got it.
Pretty neat.
Press it a third time to get back to regular spaces. It's a bunch of shortcuts, but it can really save you time.
Got it?
Mm-hmm.
Any questions about that? Hmm? No?
Nope.
So the, what is it called, tilde? The
Tilde?
tilde? So the tilde would be for,
Keeping it on the same line.
keeping on the same line for a
Like
company.
Mr., Mrs.
Okay, and then for the third locker just has the spaces, that would be like, I guess I don't know the difference between the tilde and just the space between the words.
Like,
So if you did, when you push lock, this keeps it all on one line
Yeah.
for a company, say,
Yeah.
okay, and that's the hyphen. What is this one? Is this one?
It just keeps it as whatever. So now it can
So
be.
if you wanted San Antonio College, it doesn't necessarily have a hyphen, but it would all go on the same line,
Mhm.
something like that.
See, and what that's gonna do is if that's at the end of the sentence, you put at the door store.
Oh, because it's not a lock.
Because it's not a
Duh,
lock.
okay.
So it's just gonna keep it regular. So now once it gets to the end of the sentence, now it's just gonna do what it needs to do.
Okay, so it's just.
Because it doesn't need to be together. You're not telling it that it needs to be together,
Okay.
okay? Okay, guys, what they're telling you right here is all the different ways that you can define things, okay? That's the way you define question, answer. You don't have to know all of those things. Return, capital A, space, 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 cap. You don't have to know all of that. If you define it correctly, it's going to know what to do. It already knows what to do, okay? This stuff, I mean, the next time I use it, will be the first time I use it. I don't have that defined. I don't. If you need to define it, that's the way you define it, okay? I don't know, whatever. But a parenthetical paragraph, so if you have a stroke for a parenthetical paragraph, then all you need to do is remember that, okay? So if you can go in here and print this, go ahead. Or you can just remember that it's in special entries. Remember? You remember. Remember? Yeah.
Oh, right. Yeah, the drop-down box.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep, got it.
You in the back.
I understand what we're learning here, but I guess I'm just not understanding when I would want to use. Okay, these are all just symbols to define certain global entries that I want to put in my dictionary, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm not sure, I can't think of an example when I would want to use that Q inside the parentheses at the top, or an A in any definition. Can you
I don't
give me-
either.
That's what I'm saying, I'm like, this doesn't
Yeah.
make sense to me, it's like.
Well, I mean, if you have a special thing,
Like if you want to make yes, sir with the question or with the answer one stroke, that's when you would global it with the parentheses Q. So that way
Okay.
you don't have to do the question bank,
Right.
yes, sir, you can do it all
Right.
one stroke. And that's why you would global it with the Q or the A, is to just save yourself a stroke.
If I'm using, like you said, that one stroke with the
Right.
question mark in the name, right?
Yeah. It's not necessary, but it saves you a stroke.
Because
Yeah.
I've been looking at all of this, but I'm like, it just doesn't,
you know, in like speaker paragraphs and stuff like that, I mean, you don't really need a symbol for that. Okay? All you have to do is hit your speaker question symbol, and it's automatically going to set it up in a speaker. So it's automatically going to come back as a byline. It's not a speaker line, it's a byline. I don't know
and
if
the
you're talking
question
about it
symbol
yet.
is just Q, right?
Huh?
And the question symbol is just Q in
Yeah.
our hotkeys. right?
But you have to, like I was telling you, you have to define it correctly, like that. So if you put bracket, small q, it's probably not going to do it. It may, I don't know, I've never tried it. I don't think it does. I think it has to be capital Q. Okay? So as long as you do what they tell you to do, you're going to be okay. And you don't have to worry about any of the other stuff. Okay? Same thing with, you know, like decimal points. You know, and like they say, how much was it? It was 1.3 grams. Okay. So now, if you don't know how to do point, 1 point, like 1.3, it's gonna come out number one, POINT, 3, instead of the right way, okay? And the way that they taught us to do it was POIN, P-O-I-N, instead of the T. Symbolizes that it's a decimal point. Well, you don't have to worry about any of that stuff. All you have to do is bracket, capital decimal, bracket, and it already knows when you put point, put the decimal point. Well, how much was it? Well, it was, what did he blow? It was .08. Okay, it was .08.
Got it.
So it automatically knows, put the decimal, keep it together, when there's numbers, 08.
Doesn't it do that for percent as well? If you put percent in there, it would automatically.
You could. You could.
So I
You know
have
what?
two
That's a
different
good question because I
strokes.
don't know.
I think I have two different strokes.
For percent? Okay.
I can't remember.
And you
that.
can.
'Cause
I don't
think
know how
just-
you define it though. I don't remember the thing for percent. And it may have it. I've never used it. I always write it out. So like when they talk about, well, how much was it? Well, it was 80%. I always write out PERCENT.
And that's how you give it in the transcript? You put 80 and then percent? You don't put the little, really?
Yeah. To me, it reads better. Yeah. But it's personal preference.
So basically, we could personalize that any way we want, right?
Kind of.
Okay? And that's the whole purpose of Eclipse, to know you, right?
The more you use it, the more it's going to know what you're doing. Okay? So, like auto include files, and I'm going to teach you how to do that. Like when, you know, hey Dave, we need to go off the record. Okay, off. Automatically, off, I have it defined as parenthesis, whereupon a short recess was had. Or if he says, no, I think my off is an off the record discussion is off. But if he says, you know what, Dave, go off the record. I put break, break, whereupon a short recess was had. And maybe they go back in chambers and they want to talk about some stuff or whatever, and it's off the record, break, break. Automatically puts in, and I'm going to show you how to do it. It's super cool. That's when you'll bring your machines. We're writing on the machines. I've already, loaded,
That's
the block files in, and that's what those are. They're block files, and that's what these are. Is auto includes on your block files. Okay, it's pretty cool. I mean, you can do it for lunch. I do lun. Sworn brings it in. And it's a little parenthetical. Now you don't want to get ridiculous. You always want to make things about one line. So regardless of what you're trying to do, don't make it 6 lines for whereupon the witness having first duly been sworn to tell the truth, told the truth, nothing but the truth, and only the truth. Really? No. Keep it simple. And you'll see mine, and it says whereupon the witness was sworn to tell the truth. That's it. Keep it simple. They know what it is. It is what it is. No big deal.
So you don't type out the entire oath?
No.
Okay.
No. And they don't need to know that. I mean, because everybody's going to say it differently. Every judge will say, okay, raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth? My judge is, do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, I think. And most of them are going to say that, but some of them will just say, you promise to tell the truth? Yeah. And they never do. But, I mean, it is what it is. But, I mean, that's another one. Sworn.
That makes sense.
Direct examination. You can do all of this stuff. Dram.
And which one is this that you're talking about?
On what?
What you're talking about? Which one on
It's the
list?
auto include.
Auto include?
Yeah.
Okay.
And that one is pretty cool. That one is pretty cool because that's where you're going to go into that special entry, select auto include. Now, once you select that auto include, it's automatically going to go to your block files. So now you don't have to worry about going in there. It goes in there and then you just select whichever one you want. It's pretty cool. But that's later on down the road.
Okay.
So here they have a kind of your turn or whatever. You can kind of go through there and do if you want and kind of global it and whatever. Let's see where it's coming up.
So, Mr. Zarate, let me see if I understand this. So I could actually, instead of hitting that Q bank, set it up so I could just hit one stroke and hit Q? Could I do that? Never mind. I'll just play with it and I'll answer my own question.
No, ask me again.
No, that's fine.
Ask me again.
Do you mean
'Cause I don't
using
think-
hyper keys?
Ask me again.
No.
Ask me.
It's okay. I've had a long day. I've been here since like 6. So.
Well, you know what? I've been up since 6 too.
I know. It's okay. It's okay.
No, I mean, if you don't get it, somebody else probably doesn't get it either.
No, I got the whole concept. I was
All right.
just thinking about something different.
Like what? Ask me the question one more time. If I don't understand, then we're going to go on anyway.
So I know that we are in the global
Yeah.
dialog box,
Yeah.
and that is simply just to define something that we want to input into our dictionary.
Yeah.
And I understand that all these special symbols that are in these little brackets
Yeah.
is part of the definition as we so choose it to be.
Mhm.
All right. So my question was, is there something instead of using this, the data bank for
Yeah. Yeah.
testimony,
Mhm.
right, which is cumbersome, right?
Mhm.
Can I just set one letter to equal Q?
Good.
You mean to tell me
If
nobody's
you
ever
understand-
asked that question?
No.
The only problem
I mean,
is-
the only thing is because like we learned in school that that's just the question and the answer. Now, if you want to do it, I mean, I guess you could. I mean, I don't know what your answer symbol would be. I mean, your Q
Well, I
could be
understand.
Q.
I understand where the thought process went
Yeah.
from there. So you'd have to be extremely selective.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Extremely.
I understand.
Extremely.
Totally.
Okay.
Crystal clear.
Yeah.
Got it.
But, I mean, just the universal symbol for question and answer is boom, boom.
Which has worked fine for me so
Yeah,
far.
yeah.
So why change it, right?
Yeah,
You-
don't
like you said,
overcomplicate, but
reinvent
I
the
understand
wheel.
where you're going
No,
on
to me,
simplifying
that's
things.
just helping me understand the whole purpose
Sure,
and concept
sure.
of this. I mean, not that I want to do it, not that I
Yeah,
ever would,
yeah.
but this helps me totally
But there's
grasp
always easier
all of
ways
this.
sometimes of doing things, but you don't want to reinvent the wheel either.
Got it.
Okay? But, I mean, there's always easier ways to do things, okay? And like I told you guys, I mean, I got out of school stroking everything out. I don't anymore. But I sit in a specialty court where we hear the same thing every day. So I've made up my own briefs for stuff. I start stroking stuff before the judge even says anything. Because I know what he's already going to say. I've sat with him long enough. I know what he's going to say already, almost. And he says the same thing, pretty much verbatim, every time. When he admonishes parents or stuff like that on certain, times in the hearing, I know he's going to say certain things. So I'm almost ahead of the game a little bit. So I don't, stroke all of that stuff out. Like when he admonishes parents, and mine for admonish is, admon. Well, I do mon, and it puts this whole freaking paragraph of what he's talking about. And he goes through and he says the same thing every time. So, I mean, he's still talking, and I'm just sitting there waiting on him because it's like almost several sentences. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So I already have something that's already defined for that admonishment.
What is he saying to the parents? Like, that's the same every
Uh,
time. It's kind of like swearing in, but something completely different.
Yeah, I mean, I could probably pull it up.
That's okay.
But
that's
it's
what I
like,
thought.
and I need to go through and admonish you, that if you don't do the service plan, the plan that was given to you, the plan that was designed by the state, then you have to know that your rights can be restricted or terminated if you don't do everything that's on that plan. And that's not verbatim of what he says, but it's pretty close to that. And he says it every time. So I just do add, mon, and it's like 2 sentences long. So it saves me some time. So it's catch-up time. But you
Thank
have to
you.
be careful.
Thank you.
You have to be a little careful because I had a friend of mine who worked with a judge. I probably should turn this thing off. Anyway, no. But, I mean, she had a thing just like that. And in criminal court, so when they're doing pleas, they say the same thing every time. So she goes through and hits this thing and is kind of waiting on him, and he looks down and sees that she already hit it
Oh, no.
and changed the last word in the sentence. And then kind of looks down and like, really? That's when these come up and you want to put your hand around somebody's neck. But he was just doing it just to kind of be a funny guy to her. So now she's, trying to, I said, I'd have left it. We probably need to turn that off here. I said, I'd have left it. I said, well, that's what I heard. I don't know. Did you say something different? That's what I heard. I don't know. But, I mean, so you have to be careful, that they make sure and they say it the same way every time. And if they don't, then you can, kind of hit the delete button and kind of go through and just kind of fix the end of it. Does that make sense? So you can just kind of pick up where it left off. Okay, so all of these things, and really what this thing is doing is just kind of telling you how to symbolize it. Okay, so if you have certain strokes for all of these things, good. You need one for that. Okay, and mine is all of the vowels. I don't know what y'all's is. So like if he says, I went to the store. You see where he stopped and then started up again? That's what this is. So he stopped, dash, and then started up again. And we kind of worked on that a little bit maybe it was Monday or last week or whatever, where he goes, I went to the, to the store with my brother yesterday. Well, they're talking over one another, but he didn't get to finish his sentence before the other guy got in, and then he finished his sentence. So now it's like, I went to the dashes, dashes, store with my brother. Does that make sense to you guys?
Yeah.
Where he kind of broke up the sentence. He didn't finish the sentence, so there's no period there. It's a run-on sentence. And then he picked up and then kept going. Does that make sense? That's where this thing comes in, the dashes, when they don't complete a thought.
The same speaker.
Same speaker.
Okay, just switching thought patterns.
Yeah. So he says, well, I went to the, strike that. Where at the store were you? You see? Where he went through, he didn't finish that sentence, and then he's like, strike that. Strike that question. And then picks up somewhere else. He didn't finish that thought. So there's no period that goes there. Okay? And that's where you need that. So I figure out, and you can do dash dash. You can do dash dash, or you can do whatever you want. I tell you, mine is the vowels. The
Got it.
Got it?
Great.
All right. Quotation marks. I mean, if you want to, you can. Not that big of a deal, you know, in the thing, but I mean, when you go through and edit, you can always put it in there. But if you're on top of them and you know how to, you know, do open quote, close quote, help yourself. All right.
When you write quickly, your steno machine may register separate strokes as if they were written at the same time. Eclipse composite dictionary entries can unscramble this mess. This one dictionary
You see, this is how you do it, Brick. This is how you do it. Pay attention, real quick. Remember how it's done. You have to define it correctly, because if not, it's not going to come out the right way. Okay? So if you put open bracket, Q, yes, period, close bracket, it's not going to come out the way that you need it to. Okay? So be careful with the way that you define it. Okay? It's very, 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 very important the way that you define it. Okay? All right? So that's how you do it. Did you see the stroke that they used? Is that what y'all used?
That's what I wanted to see. That's what I wanted
Okay.
to see.
dictionary entries can
That's it. And that's the correct stroke. Really? You can read that? And if you can, help yourself. I can't. That doesn't read. That to me is stacking. I messed up and I stacked 3 different strokes together. If that comes out, you know I stacked. Okay? And I usually won't stack 3 strokes together. But that to me is what it reads. But if you can read that, and that's the way you do it, help yourself.
But that's what you're talking about?
That's great.
Do you do that? I mean, do you do 3? I mean, y'all can do 3 strokes?
I don't do it that
I don't
exact
add
way.
punctuation. I just do like, if the answer is yes sir or no sir, or if the speaker is saying all right or okay, then it'll be the question
Right.
bank in K.
Right.
Or the question bank in L, or something
Very
like
simple.
that, and that's question all right or answer all right.
Do you have it defined correctly?
I don't know how I did it. Apparently I figured it out.
It's in there
It is in there?
because mine just came out yes.
Okay, then good.
I didn't have to put it in.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, if your dictionary is like that, hey. But if not, then this is how you do it. Okay?
unscramble this mess. This one
See how they did it? Question, yes, period, all in different brackets, where the yes is not in a bracket. Okay?
Yes.
This is saying we need to put it as a question symbol. So it's return, question, space, 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 cap next, whatever word you need, all right, okay, yes, yes, sir, and then I want a period after that. So that's what tells it that it's the period, space, space, cap next, unless it's going to an answer.
That's what I was gonna say, does it automatically go
If
to
it's
the answer?
going to an answer, then you don't have to worry about putting the period. You don't have to put the question mark
You put the answer. 'Cause
E
you
period.
still have to hit the answer after.
Yeah,
because
you're
it's
gonna have to have
automatically
the
gonna do
answer
it.
afterwards.
Right.
Okay.
It's not going to automatically.
But if they're
go to the
saying,
answer to
yes, I did go to the store. What did you do? Did you go to the store? Yes. I went to the store with my brother. You see how it's yes, period. I went to the store with my brother because they didn't ask him if he went to the store with his brother. They just asked him if he went to the store. Did you go to the store? Yes. Period. Space, space, cap, next. They don't know what they're going to say next. And if you can figure that out and put it in one stroke, I went to the store with my brother, holy cow.
Ask the question again where there's the comma, because he's answering the,
Did you go to the store with your brother? Yes, I went to the store with my brother.
okay, so that one's a comma.
That would be a,
Did
that
you
would
go
be a
to
comma.
the store?
So
Yes,
instead of that
period.
stroke of the period,
This mess. This one dictionary can unscramble this.
so instead of this, now it's going to be RBGS, which is the comma. So now instead of that, and you're smart enough, quick enough, and your mind thinks that quick. I just don't hear it that way. Mine doesn't register that way. But trust me, these guys can be arguing. We can be going 270, and I'm talking to the guy in the back about where we're going to have lunch. But I don't hear it like that. Does that make sense? I could be. I mean, I could be writing the guys in the back like, we going to lunch? Yeah, I'm going to lunch. And these guys are boom, boom, and their shots are being fired and whatever. And I'm talking to the guy in the back about if we're going to have lunch. Yeah. Heck yeah, we're having lunch. But if your
Great.
brain registers that way, help
Great.
yourself. Okay?
Okay.
It's all about defining it correctly. Okay?
Mess. This one dictionary entry performs 3 steps. First, it creates a question paragraph, then it inserts the word yes, then it inserts the word yes, then it ends the sentence with a period. Here, a suffix s was written, immediately followed by a question.
And this is what I was talking about stacking. Okay? I don't think that they meant to do this. But if it happens to you a lot, then understand this is how you're going to define it. Okay?
Question stroke. Eclipse understands. A glance at the list.
Which one would it be?
3.
Hmm?
Yep.
3.
Number 3.
So quick.
You understand why?
Yeah.
Because it's supposed to be 2 bottles question. So the bracket with the caret S symbolizes that it's a suffix, and then the next one is the Q. And that's how you define it. It's not open bracket, caret, S, Q, close bracket. See how they did it? Totally different. And you have to do it that way or it's not going to do what you want it to do.
It's choice 3. Of course, I could have also gotten help from the special entries list, but because of the global magic features, even that help was not needed. I'll place this in my main dictionary.
Got it?
I
Great.
wonder how they defined it in their main dictionary.
That's how they define
I
it.
mean, what they gave it to, like the little go-to, whatever symbol.
Of what? What do you mean?
I don't know how to ask the question.
Guys, go into this thing. That was the end of the thing. But do me a favor, go home tonight, and it's not going to take you very long. But go into this your turn and do this. All right?
Sir.
Global it and see if it comes up. And if it doesn't, you can go into it's the bracket, period, bracket when you global that. Okay? Got it? And go in there and just get used to doing and seeing what it looks like. Okay? Guys, we covered a lot of stuff tonight again. Okay? Any questions about what we went over? No one? Okay, we'll see y'all on Monday.